Wonderful. Okay, folks, we begin chapter 13. Chapter 12, we spoke about the Beinoni. We explained the Beinoni is in between the tzaddik, the righteous person, and the rasha, what we call as wicked, meaning a person who's completely transformed themselves as a tzaddik, transformed their inner workings, that they have no urges of the heart that are self-directed. A complete tzaddik and a complete wicked individual is a person who's completely self-directed and never takes an ownership for anything that they do, is not full of regrets, no regrets. Incomplete rasha is with regret. Now, the Beinoni is in between. Complete mastery over thought, speech, and action, but not mastery over the inner workings of the soul, meaning the intelligence and the emotions, the feelings of the soul. Feelings, you can still have feelings of the desire that are self-oriented, of lust, and so on. So the Alter Rebbe explains in this chapter. In one word, this chapter is shoiftan, which judges. So in the first chapter, we quoted from the Talmud. Talmud says, by the Beinoni, zeh v'zeh shoiftan. By the Beinoni, this intermediate person, this and this are judges. Interesting term to use is judges. The Alter Rebbe is very exacting on the Talmudic terminology. It doesn't say moishlim. Moishlim means this is a ruler and this is a ruler. The godly soul rules and the animal soul rules. Doesn't say that, because if it would say that, that would mean by the Beinoni, he's got two rulers, meaning sometimes he's lives his life by the ruling of the godly soul, and sometimes he lives his life by the ruling of the animal soul. Well, we know that if you live by the ruling of the animal soul, so that means you're doing something that is sinful based on that. And therefore, when you did something wrong, you're no longer completely a complete mastery over your thought, speech, and action, and that's not a Beinoni. And that's why the term is not ruling, but a judge. So the Alter Rebbe uses the metaphor, very simple idea. If you have two judges, one rules right and one rules left. Right? One rules one way, one rules another way. What does it mean that they both rule? Each one wants that their ruling should be the final verdict, but it's only a ruling. It's not the final verdict. So what do you do when you have two judges? Well, you need an arbitrator that's a third one that will arbitrate between the two and then come to the final conclusion, siding with one or the other. So that's the metaphor. Similarly, the Alter Rebbe says, is that the battle that we have between in the Beinoni, because he's constantly engaged in a battle between the evil inclination that's of the animal soul and the godly soul's inclination. And they are each have an opinion. Well, the first opinion is going to come from the animal soul, because as we will learn later, that's more who we are, self-directed, even by the Beinoni. He has to work on that. But in any case, so the first thought that will come to mind in a situation that a Beinoni is engaged in is the left part of the heart, where the evil meaning here, remember, evil is not Attila the Hun. Evil is not, some horrific anti-Semite. Evil can just mean that it's self-directed, pleasure-seeking as an end in itself. And therefore, that lurks in the heart of the Beinoni. It is then that desire from the heart demands that it should act according to its desires. It renders its judgment, right? From the heart, it goes, in a sense, to the mind. The mind starts now in a cunning way to figure out how to get what the heart wants. Well, at that moment, immediately when that thought comes to mind, and now the mind is being used in a cunning way to get what the heart wants, that's one judge. Comes another judge. The other judge is coming from the right part, from the mind, the godly soul, and it is residing there, which extends to the right part of the heart, which is a good inclination, and it is giving its judgment. Its judgment is au contraire to the judgment of the first judge of the animal soul. So you got two judges here. So then what do you do? Then what do you do? The final verdict is with the arbitrator. So who's the arbitrator here? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God Almighty. He's the arbitrator. And he will give an added edge to the divine soul that it should have a greater light and gain superiority and mastery over the folly of the animal soul, that it should, so to speak, override it and not allow its judgment to have any sway and say over the individual. And this is what it means. Now, was that judge in the left ventricle of the heart, the animal soul, the evil inclination, was it nullified? No, it still remains there. It was just not allowed to have any authority. It didn't have its verdict or its judgment come to as a final verdict. That's what happened. Why? Because God stood by the side of the Beinoni. Now, with this, we can understand the Alter Rebbe says why in the first chapter. Remember, we asked a question. That a Beinoni, if the whole world calls you a righteous person, consider yourself like a Rasha, which translates like an evil person. What does that mean? So the Alter Rebbe explains, meaning, it's very easy when people look at someone who's really in their behavior, perfect. They'll call them righteous. So Alter Rebbe says, well, no, doesn't mean you're righteous, because the behavior of the Beinoni, of complete mastery of thought, speech, and action, and of the righteous person are very much the same. But the Beinoni did not transform the heart's desire just to be that opinion, that judge of the animal soul. That did not change. The judge is always there with its opinion. So therefore, even though everybody's calling you a righteous person, you should be, in your eyes, not literally a Rasha, but like a Rasha, meaning a Beinoni. Because like a Rasha, a Beinoni struggles. And like the Rasha, the first struggle, the struggle is, the first, natural thought is from the animal soul, from the evil inclination. So in that respect, like a Rasha. And don't believe the world opinion about you, that you are, that you have your inner heart and mind have transformed it. That's eons beyond the Beinoni. The Beinoni will continue to struggle. Said, take the view that the essence and the core of your being is still got a negativity there. It's still full of its native strength, the evil inclination. On the contrary, the more we eat, the more we drink, the more we're feeding it, the more it is becoming stronger. So we shouldn't feel that, oh, look at that, I'm always careful with my actions. I'm always careful with my words. I'm always careful that when a negative thought comes, I push it out. That's fantastic, amazing. We would achieve that. But don't think because of that you're righteous. No, because you still have the native strength of the evil inclination in your heart as a judge that wants always to give its opinion. So the Beinoni just doesn't allow that opinion to become a verdict. That's today's class. Powerful idea. Ephraim, Boker Tov. To you in Trenton, New Jersey, and Stephanie in Bloomington, Illinois. Monica, good afternoon to you in Israel. Oh, wonderful. Welcome. Angelina, good morning to you in South Texas. And Elise is with us from Denver, Colorado. Boker Tov. Karen in LA. Erica in Norway, hello. Joatha is in Brazil. A sun shining morning, wonderful. I'd like here in Montreal. Dror in Montreal, good morning. Lou is with Yardley, Pennsylvania, Boker Tov. They're on in Saskatchewan. Welcome. Thank you, Monica. Elijah, Boker Tov. And Elena Estella, rather. Thank you for joining. John from North Carolina. And Ahmed, good morning. Sagi, Linda from Nebraska. Maxwell, who else is with us? Silvana from Indonesia. Thank you for joining. And on Instagram, on the Lower East Side, Nat. From the Dominican Republic, Ariel, I think it is. From Brazil, good morning. Bobby from Manchester in the United Kingdom. Thank you for joining. Nice guys in Asia, shalom. Okay. All right, folks. Sharing is caring. Please share the Alter Rebbe's teachings with others. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zech and Kadeshim in Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Have a wonderful day.